Yo guys, it's your boy Lucas. So I'm bringing you like the PHP mistakes that I noticed while talking to other people. I noticed as well, obviously, when I went into projects. So let's start with the first. I'm a little bit sick, please bear with me. But the first one I noticed was they don't write when people try out stuff, when they learn, I don't know, an API or a difficult library, they try it out in a controller. Yeah. So like in the Laravel world, they would do something like make controller and like dev controller, and then they would use that. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Yeah, so like this, they would create a controller, they would create some routes, and they would like go into this dev controller and hack stuff in there. Like they would try out things, they would try to call the API or whatever and see what it comes out. And then they would eventually cut and paste it, or as people call it, refactor it into something else. And then place it into the code, and that's how they did it. Another way to do it, and I was guilty of that as well, is you create a test file, test.php. If, for example, if you don't work with Laravel or something that provides good routing, then you create like your own file. You import the autoloader or whatever, and write the tests there. Yeah. So you would create a new file here, and then start to hack around here, prepare the stuff, and like do the API calls and whatever, and eventually copy it out once you're done doing this. But this is not, well, it works, right? But it's not optimal. By the way, another way I saw like someone in Laravel do it, they would not make a controller and test it out via HTTP. They would make a command, which is, in my opinion, slightly superior. So they would create a command dev test or something, and write that would create like a console command somewhere here, and they would like start it from the console, run the console commands and see the output and do it this way, which works as well. You know, it's not really a mistake to do it this way. I'm just saying it's better if you actually do it in a unit test directly. So you would create a unit test, like so. In Laravel, if you use plain PHP, you would obviously compose or require PHP unit and go from there. But we're currently doing it with Laravel here, so I'm going to showcase this quickly, what I mean. So let's go to the tests, the unit. We have my API test now. Like, let's actually do an API test. And usually the first thing you would want to do is like test can call API. Yeah. So you just want to sure, like, does the call actually work? Personally, if it's API, I would actually first try it out in Insomnia, or if there is, look at the live implementation that is already live and copy requests from there to Insomnia. Insomnia is like Postman, but in case, like, let's focus on the PHP part right now. So we import the correct unit test case, not the PHP unit one. And now I would like try to call the endpoint and see that I get something. And you know, with the name, I wouldn't even necessarily start with the naming, you know, just like the first thing you want to try out is actually that it works, right? That you can call the endpoint, yeah? So don't worry too much about the naming of the test. So I saw this dummy API, which we're just gonna use, and we make like a very simple use case out of it, just so I can showcase what I mean. So in this case, you could require like Guzzle or whatever to make the call, but I'm gonna do the Laravel way here. So I'm gonna import the right class, and I'm gonna run a GET request. Honestly with you, I usually use Guzzle directly. I haven't used this HTTP client before. So like this is gonna showcase as well how it's gonna work. So in this case, we're gonna just put out the response object, Now I'm going to run the test. So we get a lot of data, and I wasn't really looking for this, but just like the body, right? So let's do the body. So this is the normal prototyping way, right? So now I see, this is the content. Now that's still not what I want. What I saw that exists on it is JSON, because this is a string. I don't want to parse this string. And now it's arrays. Yeah, that's more like what I wanted. So, and it works, you know. So I would, at this point, I would say like, this is already an achievement. So we basically end the test right here. So we assign this basically, we assign this to the users. Then to end this, turn this into a working test, we write assert, or we can do greater than 1, size of users. Damn, now we already created the test. This is quite trivial though, but it still showcases, we got something working, and we didn't have to prototype it out in like some hidden cave, or in a file, and then we like hid our traces, because usually it's more complex. You need to authenticate or set some headers. Usually it's not as simple as this case. So just to make sure that we're not crazy, let's run the test again, and now we have a passed unit test. And this is like documents a little bit as well, like what we did so far, but it's trivial so far. So we gotta come up with like a scenario which is a little bit more difficult. So I looked a little bit at the data to come up with a scenario, but I guess we can just go with everyone that has a BS of that includes E dash, all those users. It's not a great scenario or use case, but it's not about that. So let's do that. So we would create, like, let's just imagine it's actually a business requirement to get this, Yes, can get users with E dash. So I personally would then move this into a separate function, right? What's the problem now? No name. Get users. Should be static. Let's do it static because it can be static. So let's get the users. Let's just do this. Then we put it into a collection. This is a Laravel way. You don't know. Let's do it non-Laravel way, maybe. Let's do it vanilla. User users. Okay, let's refresh our mind here a little bit. For the meanwhile, we can actually comment this out. We don't need to run it, just to quickly see. So we have ID, we have the company BS. All right. So it's very prototypey, just like you're used to. So it's the same. You lose anything. Company BS or empty string, huh? I think we have this one, contains. Then we push it to the e-users. And then let's look at the e-users. So it's the same like prototypey way to program. You just do it in a unit test and it doesn't work. Oh, and I see why, because I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, I used this variable instead of this one. That's why the Laravel way would be preferential, because that wouldn't have happened. It would have done this and then filter, and then I would be on the right one. Well, I can still make a mistake even there, I guess. Okay, so we got a bunch of them. Back to the all complain e-markets enable. Yeah, perfect. So, and now that we're done with this, we can actually turn this into a test again. What do you want? We can, let's do two things greater than. First of all this, and then I'm not sure contains, do they have it? Oh. I'm not sure if the contains do the right thing there. We'll find out right here. String given. Let's see, assert a string contains string. Okay. Needle, haystack. Okay, this is the right one. There you go. You have another working test. So you could go on, obviously, like, and then once you get the users, you get the user jobs or whatever, or the user posts and like the specific posts of it. But I guess this that you do it like this, which brings me to the next point. Like, where do you actually put the logic? Like, what I saw a lot is that the user. Let's put this back to life. What I saw a lot is that programmers just inline the code. They just write it like this, or more like this, and even people copy it around, you know. They never create like a class. What you can do generally in PHP is you just refactor it, you know. Once you have it here, you don't want to keep this logic here. You actually want to move it somewhere else, just like I moved this a little bit, yeah. But in the test is not the right place. This is not supposed to stay here, yeah. So this is the second point. Like, users are afraid to actually create classes. I mean programmers. What works generally is to create a service class. And for Laravel, there's more specialized service classes you could add to the app service provider. Yeah, this guy over there, you could like bind a service to the container and then reuse it for testing and whatever. But I found, you know, if you just need a place to put it and you don't want to create a service inside the container, or you don't use Laravel, you can just create a service namespace and then create a class there. Let's say my API service means services. Okay, so this is currently just an empty class in the namespace services. So in this empty class we want to fill with the logic, the business logic that we don't want to keep in tests, obviously, but it's not so difficult, right? In phpstorm you can do this. You can refactor, move members. You say my API service. Okay, it warns us that it's gonna be public, which is fine. Oh, now we have it in here. And it's used in this test, like, oh, this it did all the work for us. Obviously, we could manually just move it. Yeah, it's not the end of the world. And now what about this? Well, you can extract a function here. I don't think you can move it directly. So what you first do is you refactor, you extract method. Let's get users. Let's already make it public. So we have it here again. Now we say refactor move. There. My API service. And it's in there. Oh, we didn't want to move this though. Oh, no, I was confused. I thought I was in the API service. So this is the service. This is how it looks like. And now it's very simple. It's a very simple class, very nice, very easy to use. And you have unit tests. And these tests cost you nothing. Now, careful, Laravel users, as I said, if you want to make this class testable, then you should use the services in the container, which you don't need to always. This is just, yeah, some basic logic. You could even probably fake the response from here. Yeah, but if you want to be able to make deeper changes and make everything testable, then you bind it to the container in the app service provider or another service provider. Yeah. But those were the first two. First was people don't write unit tests when it's free. They go instead to a controller or whatever. And second, they don't create service classes. Yeah. And this is, by the way, just fine. You can write it like this. It's not going to open the gates to hell. Right? There's some programmers, oh no, static methods. You didn't bind it to a service provider. Oh, you're shaking the devil's hand. No, it's not. Come on, man. There's it's fine. Yeah, like on the same moment, if you like do all services in the container, it is well like you're creating a lot of interfaces and stuff that if you never use it, I'm not sure if it's better. If you actually want to create a different implementation of my app service provider, my app service, and you know, fake responses and stuff like that, then definitely. But if you never do it, yeah, because I have many, I've been in projects where the only unit tests that were written by me, yeah. So there's that. This is better than nothing, for sure. Obviously, by the way, if you are more committed to like extensive testing, then you would obviously bind it to the container, yeah? Okay, but my last feedback is people don't use enough type hinting. And I'm guilty of this myself in this very video. Because I didn't type hint here that the return is an array, yeah? For example, as well. So generally development environment support, yeah, the more support you can give to your mates, the better it is, yeah. So I see right here, this is actually wrong. It's not mixed. Let's see the references here. Okay, get users. So this is an array. This needs to be an array. And you can even make this more clear by providing, for PHPstorm, there's a plugin, this one here, and it helps you to type in like complex arrays. Oh, they don't have an example. Oh, they direct it. I'll show you. So e-users returns something like this. So what you just do is you just copy, let's just copy 2 entries. Yeah, so I copy 2 users. Now we go here. I'll paste it. Here the JSON array opens, and I close it here. Now I'll remove all the white space. Yeah, make it align to the left. Now do this. Watch this. I did backspace. Now it's all on one line. And now I can give this as return type, and this plugin is gonna parse it. Yeah. So get users. And now it's gonna type in for me. Hopefully. Yeah. No. This is not what I expected. I think it's 0, 1, 2. Okay, let's go to. Yeah, it's right. It's an array, right? And now it should type in. This is still not correct. I see the problem. I copy pasted the JSON array, but it needs to be a PHP array so it understands it. Okay, my bad. So in this case, you would do it this way. Let's go up here, like the users. How do you get like the example array? You would do this. Or export users. We set this to true, so it returns it. We run the test again. Oh, that's correct. It's just the new lines that are in. Yeah, the new lines was the problem, so we don't DD, we just die it out. So this more export is going to give us a PHP array that we can copy paste, so we don't take everything again. We just take the first two. One, like this, copy, same thing, paste. Now I have to close something, right? This is not closed. Now copy this. Did I one line it? No, I didn't. Chum, come on, please. We remove this. So let's cross the fingers first, and oh, that's embarrassing. So I'm not sure what I changed, or if I changed anything at all. You tell me, is something else? Did I change something? I tried it out with this notation, then it worked, and I switched back, and it still works. So I can access the company here and the BS. Yeah, so this is very helpful. Obviously, you should, if you interact with a API endpoint, you log or write down into files the requests and responses that you send around, which is not part of this video. Yeah, but this was one way. You can obviously as well type in the parameters here. Yeah, you could do the same here, I think. Now it's gonna embarrass myself again. So we copy the same thing here, which is duplication. And I paused the video recording just to make sure it works, and it does. So we can access this stuff here too. Problem is this duplication. So instead of duplicating this code, you could maybe do like a dummy. So I quickly prepared this while you weren't looking. So this would work as well. So you just create a dummy function, call it whatever. XXS, and which is not appropriate, is it? This is just to make it work in the IDE. It doesn't do anything. This way you can reuse this and don't need to repeat. even better than this would probably be DTOs, data transfer objects, yeah? Which, well, is a whole different story, yeah? It's more work as well. But you can generate them as well. Yeah, but I think that was it for today. I didn't make my jokes that I usually do, apart from Gates to Hell. Oh yeah, the devil's laughing. Static functions, yeah, it's fine, you know. But anyway, guys, I enjoyed it nonetheless. I'm feeling a little bit tired today, so still, maybe I need a bunch of new subscribers, you know, this is gonna heal me. Yeah, come on, guys, come on over. We have a lot of fun over here. Don't want to say anything inappropriate, but we got it all. All right, guys. See you in the next one.